Seriously, though, how could you have the baby of a guy who divorced you? Oh, maybe you couldn't forget about me. Did you think that keeping the baby might bring me back to you? Really, is that it?
He was being beyond ridiculous. Looking back on it now, it was really a good decision to break up with him. If I had stayed with such a moron, I would never have found the happiness I have now. Today, I would like to talk about my unforgettable stained past and my rebellion. My name is Dawn. I am a 53-year-old housewife who takes pleasure in doing chores in a leisurely manner while watching the news in the morning. I was 38 when it all started. I was living an ordinary life with my husband, Matt, but I started to feel a bit of uneasiness in our marriage. Whenever I spoke to him, he would only respond with, "Oh yeah? And so?" I felt he was strangely overbearing or indifferent to me. When I tried to continue the conversation, he would say, "I'm busy." He cut me off. I was treated roughly, or rather unkindly. He wasn't always like that, but more of a talker. If he had a chance, he came up with jokes and tried to make me laugh. I had no idea what caused his transformation. It was so abrupt that I thought I had done something wrong, but nothing came to mind. Then one day, I found a faint smudge of lipstick on the back of the shirt that he had left me to wash. He was wearing it on the day he said he had to work late. His office was male-dominated. I didn't think that there was a male colleague who put lipstick on and leaned on his back. If there was, it was scary to imagine. Maybe it was a woman. The thought naturally came up in my mind. But a single smudge of lipstick wasn't hard evidence. He could say someone tripped and bumped into him or any other excuses. I thought I would have to wait and get some more evidence. I carefully checked his behavior to see if there was anything unusual. Ironically, just by being a little more aware, I found a raft of evidence of cheating. For example, when we were in bed at night, he always needed to go to the bathroom around 2 a.m. I had never suspected it before, but it seemed that he was on the phone with a woman at that time. I once saw a long hair coming out of the inside of his suit. I also found a trace of what appeared to be lipstick on his handkerchief after a close inspection. The final nail in the coffin was when I borrowed his car for the first time in a while. It was a lip balm. Unless he was a fan of colored lip balm, I thought it was going to be the most exculpatory evidence ever. Married for 10 years. I felt the frustration of losing him to some random woman and the despair of not wanting to be alone. My love for him started pouring out. I wondered if there was really no way to start over. Was there anything I could do to make him come back to me? Was there a way to make him fall in love with me again? Just as I was twisting my brain, my suspicion of pregnancy came to light. I thought the timing was a gift from God. We had no children. The cause of his infidelity was that we were stuck in a rut. If so, the pregnancy might have been a chance for him to change. I gave him the news with hope. However, he said, "No way, give me a break. What a pain in the ass. Let's divorce." I couldn't believe my ears. Well, now that I think about it, I guess I was too naive. It was rare that a husband who was cheating on his wife straightened up and became faithful all of a sudden. It only happened in movies. Despite all that, I believed at the time that we still had a chance. We had known each other for a long time after all. "How dare you? It's your baby!" "I'm sure the baby is better off without a father like me. And you already know, don't you?" My heart skipped a beat when I saw the smirk on his face.
I'm having an affair.
I had planned to use the pregnancy as an opportunity to reconcile our relationship without acknowledging his adultery. I felt as if I had been pushed off a cliff. I thought that if the affair came to light, the marriage would become strained and he would not come back. It was another naivete on my part.
I wanted you to find out, so I did everything I could to leave evidence, but he didn't say anything at all. I'm getting tired of it.
What do you mean?
I've been waiting for you to tell me.
No way you're cheating on me. I want a divorce.
Don't make it harder on me.
You're joking, right?
I won't go through all this trouble just for a joke. I have a cute 24-year-old girlfriend right now. I have no use for a 38-year-old who is going to get fat from pregnancy, he continued to say. I can imagine you becoming like Eric Cartman.
He laughed hard by himself. It wasn't funny at all.
Here, I'll pay you alimony or whatever you want. Sign them.
He presented me with the divorce papers. I cried for 3 days and 3 nights. When I noticed that he stopped coming home, I finally made up my mind and went to see an attorney. 5 years had passed since then. I was afraid of being alone at an old age, but I fortunately remarried my childhood friend, Larry, who was also divorced. We were living modestly with our child. Larry's ex-wife had been unfaithful, and he went through a hard divorce as well. Because we had been through similar pain, I felt very comfortable being with him. He took me out to a fancy restaurant for our wedding anniversary and gave me a nice gift for my birthday every year. He made sure that I knew he loved me. I prayed that those happy days would go on forever and welcomed another wedding anniversary. It was supposed to be a pleasant dinner at the usual upscale restaurant.
Oh my God, it's Dawn!
It was Matt, who frowned when he saw me. Why are you here? I couldn't help but show my dismay. What a tragedy! I happened to run into him as he came out of the restroom.
I am entertaining my client. I am busy. Unlike you, just hanging around carefree.
He suddenly looked behind me and came up closer to me.
Oh, so you had my baby? That's disgusting.
He pulled up the boy's hand and said something outrageous while staring at him.
Seriously, though, how could you have the baby of a guy who divorced you? Oh, maybe you couldn't forget about me. Did you think that keeping the baby might bring me back to you? Really, is that it?
He smirked while he pulled the boy's hand and spun him around on the spot. The boy's face gradually became red and scrunched up. "Ah!" he wailed. "I am being kidnapped."
I'm your daddy, little boy. Mommy's right there. He's stupid just like you, isn't he?
At that moment, a man around 6'3" tall appeared from behind and grabbed Matt's arm tightly.
The boy is mine.
Huh? Matt's confused expression almost made me laugh.
Is this your new husband?
I kept my mouth shut.
I don't know what you're talking about, but you don't think you're going to get away easily after making my son cry, do you?
The tall man glared at Matt. Heavily tattooed arms were on display from his rolled-up sleeves. When Matt noticed them, he instantly became pale.
No, hey, Dawn, stop your husband. She's not my wife.
What? Matt was confused again and looked back and forth between me, the man, and the crying boy.
Then who is this boy?
Before I knew it, Matt had his arms held behind his back by the man.
He's a suspicious man who repeats crazy things. Someone get the staff. There is a man here who is harming my child.
The man's shout caused the commotion in the restaurant. I was thinking my precious wedding anniversary was becoming eventful and smiled. It became better than I expected by a coincidence. Hey, this is the man. I saw him grab this little boy by the arm. Matt was taken aback when I pointed him to the staff.
Hey, wait, Dawn, what are you doing? Seriously, I don't understand what's going on.
He was yelling frantically. I am not his wife, and the boy is not mine, much less yours.
But he was standing right behind you.
You were standing in the doorway of the restroom. I guess he couldn't get in. He was just following his dad, and you interrupted him. I know you wanted to make fun of me, but you can't be so quick to judge. Why don't you learn to observe a bit more?
Shut up! I don't need your lecture.
Well, I guess my kindness won't reach a prowler.
I'm not a prowler.
You grabbed a strange boy and told him that you were his daddy.
How is that not suspicious in any way? I am telling you.
What's more, you said to him that I was his mom. Do you still think that we're together? When I smirked at him, his face turned bright red, and he shouted,
How dare you!
The man at his side put more force into his restraining hand as Matt's voice got louder.
Dude, let me go. I'm innocent.
Innocent of what?
You made my little boy cry, didn't you? It was a misunderstanding.
I immediately chimed in. You selfishly misunderstood and raised your hand on someone's son, didn't you? Matt called me a bitch as he glared at me. Oh no, I'm being glared at by a prowler. I'm scared. I said it in a girly, pretentious way, though it was emotionless. It seemed to have hit a nerve in a way I hoped for. Matt violently tried to break free of the man's restraints. You even thought that I was hoping to get back together with you. Oh, maybe you couldn't get over me. I dared to mention what he said to me earlier. As expected, he got angrier, and the man sensed the danger. He rolled Matt straight to the floor and sat on his back.
If you think you can break my restraints, you are mistaken.
The man may have thought it was a mild threat, but combined with his heavy tattoos, it was seriously scary. I was sure Matt must have thought that it was the day he might meet his creator.
Dawn, tell him it was just a misunderstanding.
Pulling up the arms of stranger's kid was anything but misunderstanding, right?
I thought he was my kid.
I couldn't contain my laughter anymore when he mumbled like a child, half crying. You never recognized the baby or paid child support, and you say the child is yours? Have I ever asked you for recognition or child support after we divorced?
No, even if you did, I wouldn't have agreed. You knew that too. That's why you didn't ask me, right?
Are you that stupid? I'm not a fool when I have a child to take care of. I'm gonna hunt you down until you pay.
But then, why didn't you?
The pregnancy test was wrong. When I went to the doctor, it turned out I wasn't pregnant. It helped me to sign the divorce papers. Those 3 days when the divorce was mentioned and he stopped coming home, I did spend a lot of time crying. I knew I couldn't go through the divorce in such an unexplained state with our baby, so I went to an obstetrician. Even if we were to get divorced, alimony, child support, and future living expenses were all on my mind, and I needed to sort these things out. If the child would benefit more from staying married, I was willing to endure it. The doctor saw no sign of pregnancy, and instead a tumor was found in my ovary. When I was admitted for surgery, the woman whom I shared the hospital room with was the mother of my current husband. I had known him since we were little, so I knew his parents too. When he came to visit her, we became close again. At one point, I thought that my pregnancy was a gift from God, and it could save my marriage. On the contrary, it brought me a partner who assured me that it was the right decision to leave Matt. I was also able to detect the disease early. Despite having one of my ovaries removed, I even had a child with him. It may have seemed like adding salt to injury, but in fact, it was filled with good fortune. When I finished telling Matt all that, he turned pale and murmured, "No way! I was dumped by my girlfriend." Needless to say, I laughed at him. Well, I didn't think that young girls wanted to deal with such a middle-aged man who was getting older and older. At that moment, police officers showed up. Apparently, the staff had called them. Matt received a stern warning from the police. The misunderstanding was cleared, and he sincerely apologized to the boy's family. The incident was solved without a criminal charge against him. The police seemed to really scare him to the point of changing his attitude. I received an apology from him as well. He didn't know where I lived, so he went to my parents and showed his remorse. He apparently realized that he was wrong for leaving me in the worst possible way. He was getting older, was dumped by his girlfriend, and no one wanted to be with him anymore. He was completely broken down by the whole affair and felt lonely with no one to comfort him. Well, I didn't care if he apologized. I continued to ignore him. If I hadn't bumped into him there, I never really thought of him anyway. Incidentally, Larry noticed that I was gone for a while and came to check on me that day. He thought that it may have been the first and the last chance for me to get back at Matt. He dared to watch the situation from shadows. Of course, I was going to jump out if anything happened, but the man who was holding him down was so strong. He said he went to school in New Zealand and was a rugby captain. Wow, there was no place for me then. He was so scary. I thought he was a member of Hell's Angels. He started chuckling, which made me laugh too. Normally, I would have thought he wasn't manly, but he didn't need to be involved in my ex-marriage matter. It was something I should have solved by myself. I realized that I didn't have the strength at the time of the divorce. My actions were to divorce Matt as he wished and to receive market-rate alimony from him. I knew that reality didn't always work out like in movies. There was no way I was going to demand an unbelievable amount, and I also had lost the power to resist. I was finally able to speak up to Matt with unwavering determination. I thought that I became stronger in a real sense. I could really focus on Larry and my child after that. Strangely, our wedding anniversary that year marked a new beginning for me. Now, Larry is a freelance architect. I have quit my part-time job, and I'm enjoying being a relaxed housewife with a doubled salary. When I tell my somewhat rebellious pubescent daughter to do something, she complains, but when I don't, she quietly helps me. Larry and I keep it a secret that she has an irresistible teenage rebellion quality. Since I gave birth at an advanced age, I have only one child. The three of us and 2 dogs are enough to make a cheerful house, though. Matt and I had a hard time conceiving, but with Larry, I was able to get pregnant, even with only 1 ovary. I guess this is a fate in a sense, the dream of marrying my own special person, which I secretly longed for when I was a child. I never thought I would be able to fulfill it through a second marriage. It's almost like a fairy tale. I cherish the happy days that come as a matter of course, but never take them for granted.